Today we're diving into patch 13.23 and seeing how the tier list is shaping up so far. Season 2024 is right around the corner now, so it's the perfect time to get back on the grind and see what's strong to head to new heights and reach your rank goals before the end of the year. Starting with the top lane, and in the S tier we have Akshan, Camille, Fiora, Alawi, Jax, Olaf, Ornn, Poppy and Riven. Akshan is still a menace in the solo lanes, and no matter what happens to the meta, he just seems to continue to dominate the tier lists with impressive stats across the board. Akshan is all about early game damage, snowballing, roaming and reviving his entire team in teamfights. If he gets fed, he can be a serious problem, and the worrying thing is, it is very easy for him to get fed because of how strong he is in the lane phase. He can bully out low range lanes, he can swing around to safety or swing into tower dive you without breaking a sweat. Jax has proven recently that he's here to stay, with his well-rounded kit and his strengths throughout all stages of the game. He's got some decent kill threat in the lane phase, he's got great trading and bursting in the early levels. He has insane power spikes from just a Sheen to a Shojin, and he scales into a split pushing beast with very few champions who can answer to him. He's just one of those picks that if you get good with, you will definitely see the rewards. So spend a bit of time limit testing and enjoy the free LP. Speaking of free LP, Alawi's split pushing playstyle is something you won't want to miss out on. She's pretty straightforward to play but has incredible potential to outplay top laners and junglers at the same time. Oh, and she can carry games pretty easily too without too much effort. Get stuck in, get those tentacles popping, time your ultimates well and tear through towers too. GG well played. Into the jungle next, and in the S tier we have Briar, Fiddlesticks, Graves, Ivern, Kha'Zix, Master Yi and Nocta. Graves is still proving to be a top jungler in the right hands recently, and despite getting a few nerfs, he's still popping off in a ton of different games. Ghostblade, Intercollector and Black Cleaver is showing just how insane his damage can be, and if he gets fed in the early game, he'll be running around the map half healthing AD carries in just one auto attack. Master Yi has kind of crept back up into the tier list recently and is now showing to be a really scary champion to face again. With Blade of the Rune King into Rage Blade, he deals some absolutely absurd damage. He's really hard to shut down with his movement speed and his Q, and if you don't have reliable CC, he'll run away with games in no time at all. Watch out for Yi this patch and make sure you've got a good CC pick up your sleeve. Or you could just play him yourself, that works too. If you're looking for a new jungler to one trick though, you just cannot go wrong with Fiddlesticks. He's been so strong for such a long time now, and despite this, his popularity is no way near the likes of other S tier junglers. He just always seems to be in the meta and fly under the radar, but his impact in games, his 1v9 carry potential and his unique playstyle is something that can easily be utilised to head onto a monstrous win streak. The AoE damage, the CC, the scaling and the ability to dive into teams 1v5 and take them all out along the way is something you should definitely try out if you haven't already. Moving into the mid lane next, and in the S tier it's Akshan, Orianna, Swain, Sylar, Syndra, Talon and Xerath. Sylas continues to be one of the most consistent mid laners you can play, and well, to be honest, you can actually play him in the top lane as well. He's got great skirmishing power, fantastic sustain, incredible DPS, amazing versatility with all those different ultimates, and the list really does go on. There is not too many champions that are better to one trick than Sylas, because every time there's a new season, Sylas is always strong. So whether you're pushing for the end of season rewards and ranking tiers, or whether you're getting ready for season 2024, Sylas is a great option. Talon is still terrorizing mid laners left, right and centre with a very impressive win rate, and it's not hard to see why. He packs crazy burst damage, some of the best mobility in the game, allowing him to roam and carry the map as well as carry the mid lane, and once you get those core items online, you evaporate carries in less than a second. It's all about learning your limits when playing assassins like Talon, and once you learn those limits, you'll easily understand just how strong this guy can be. Next up we have Xerath, which is a completely different playstyle than Talon. It is an artillery mage, but one of the best ones in the game at that. Xerath is all about consistently landing those skill shots, poking enemies down and tilting them off the face of the earth. Xerath actually has incredible scaling right now, and his ultimate charges now have the ability to one-shot backlines without even being anywhere near the enemy team. With mages running riot in the mid lane, Xerath pretty much outranges them all. So sit back, poke away, farm up, scale up and do your thing in the late game. Moving down to the bot lane now and starting off with those AD carries, and in the S tier we just have Ezreal, Jinx and Vayne. Vayne continues to have one of the most impressive win rates in the game, so if you haven't already been playing her, why not? Ezreal has had a fantastic season 13 split too, consistently being one of the best options you can go for as long as you can play him well enough. He has a very safe and solid lane phase with good escape and great poke, but he has one of the best 2 to 3 item power spikes in the entire game. with that Trinity Force into Muramana combo and Serolda's Grudge if you can, being so potent and being able to poke and burst and destroy enemy teams as soon as they're online. Yes, he does take a bit of practice to play consistently well on, but if you've got what it takes, there's not many better. Speaking of practice, Draven is still a top choice in high elo, and if you're good enough to play him, then you will climb the ranks faster than anything you've ever seen before. His snowballing gold generating passive makes him an absolute demon once he gets fed, and his early game damage with those axes is one of the main reasons why it's so easy to get fed if you can play him well enough. So if you're looking for a new AD carry to master or one to revisit from the past, Draven still is and will always be one of the best champions to stomp in solo queue. Miss Fortune may be a bit more situational than other AD carries. You need the right games, the right duo combos, and the right matchups to really play her properly in. But that's not to say she isn't one of the most underrated AD carries in the game right now. Miss Fortune is all about burst and AoE devastation with that ultimate, and surprising double up damage too. She's the perfect AD carry to play in duo queue with an aggressive CC machine support like Rel or Leona. And if you're looking to stomp bot lanes and put games to bed really easily, start playing Miss Fortune. Finally, let's have a look at those supports then, and in the S tier we have Blitzcrank, Janna, Maokai, Rakan, Senna, Soraka and Xerath. Well, Soraka really is the GOAT right now. She is the perfect support for any AD carry with her insane sustain and fantastic scaling. Soraka works with any team comp you want to play, and she'll still be that little pocket medic you always wish you had. From keeping bot laners' health topped up in the lane phase to across the map clutch ultimate saving teammates' lives from incoming ganks, to scaling into an absolute healing powerhouse in the late game. If this kind of supporting healing playstyle is your jam, just keep playing Soraka. Janna has been one of the best supports to play in solo queue all season, but she did get some interesting changes recently, shifting up her kit a little bit and changing the way she plays. Now she still is an excellent support pick with her traditional setup of Shirelias into enchanting playstyle, but now there's also a new build that people are playing too, which is the Hail of Blades full AP W max build instead. Players will always find ways to exploit and abuse what's OP and what's secretly one of the best ways to play a certain champion, but it's not so much of a secret anymore as it's becoming even more popular, especially so at high ranks. But whether you play this new cheesy playstyle or whether you just play traditional Janna, she's in a great spot and maintaining a fantastic win rate across the board. Melio hasn't really had the best split 2 so far in season 13, but recently after a few buffs he's starting to prove his worth again. And if you pick Melio alongside scaling hyper carries like Jinx and Ashe, you're gonna have a lot of fun because these combos are pretty insane once you get to the mid to late game. Melio's AoE heals and cleanses and extra range and bonus damage over time are all amazing qualities to have alongside those hyper carries. And if you look at Melio's support win rate in recent weeks, it is steadily improving. He's no way near the blind pickable machine that he was in Split 1, but that's not to say he's not a great pick to go for in Split 2 as we head to the end of the year. And that brings us to the end of our patch 13.23 updated tier list video. Don't forget to download our desktop app to get all the best builds and runes imported straight into your client in Champion Select, along with a huge amount of guides, matchups, stats and so much more. Thanks everyone for watching, good luck ending the season on a high, and as always, take care.